Hello and welcome back to Loud Creations. Today I am doing some backyard brews. It's brew day here, brew day, however you want to say it. It's brewing day here. I have about 3 different meads that I want to make today and maybe a beer. For this video, I am going to make a plum mead. Now, I have a tiny little plum tree in my backyard, and it is hit or miss each year how productive it is. It was very productive this year. Last year, I had plums, and I was waiting for them to get ripe enough, and literally, I looked at it one day, I was like, there's enough to maybe make some jam out of these. And then I went out there the next day, and they were literally all gone, and they were not on the ground. I don't know what happened. I'm still trying to figure that out. But this year I picked them, and for the most part they were plenty ripe. These are a green variety, so they kind of look like grapes. And I went ahead and I processed them. I cut them up, took out the pits, and froze them, and they are currently thawing right now. But I plan on pouring hot water over them to hopefully, you know, get them fully defrosted. Another thing that I am doing, so where am I going with this? I guess I could start with my ingredients. So I have approximately 2 pounds of plums that I'm going to ferment on. I have my raw honey. Now it is Northwest honey, so it's from a variety of locations in the Northwest, but it's raw, so we're using this. I might add more when I rack this into a carboy. But as it is, I'll probably put about 2/3 of this. This is a 3-pound bottle. I have my Pectic enzyme. I'll put half a teaspoon of that in there. Got my teaspoons. I have a black tea bag that I threw into this and some boiling hot water that I am going to just pour in there now. And I'm going to pour it all in because I'm going to need to add about 1 gallon of water to this, maybe a little under. And I want it to be warm because I find that the yeast are very, very happy when the environment is warm, like body temperature. I didn't grab my yeast packet, so I'm gonna have to take a minute and go get that, but I will be using D47 yeast, and that's about it. Maybe I'll add a lemon or orange peel. I haven't decided. Maybe I'll go with orange. I don't know. I might even spice it. Like this is, again, like these ones, I'm kind of being a little more just, I have the base ingredients and I'm going to figure it out from there. So how I'm going to start is I need to get a big spoon and I need to get my yeast. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my yeast while I went to get a big spoon. I have my Lalvine D47. I just sanitized this big spoon, so that's gonna need a minute. I forgot to sanitize my scissors, so that's gonna be a minute. What can we do here? Well, I could just, okay, here's the other part that I didn't talk about yet. I'm using my 2-gallon brew bucket. Has a lid with a little hole for your airlock. All of this has been sanitized. I have a bucket behind me. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and cut open. We vacuum sealed these and they are ready to go. I'm just gonna drop them into the bucket. Okay, so the plums are in there. And a note about the plums, usually, and I've had plum trees at other places that I've lived that actually I didn't appreciate at the time because I'd always be gone when they'd ripen and fall off the tree and I'd come home to a sea of plums. That's not the case anymore. And this tree, it's like all I want are the plums, and there's always something each year where, so this is the first year where I've gotten enough to, I mean, 2 pounds isn't a bunch, but it's enough to make something with. So I'm really feel like finally we did this. Thank you, plum tree. I'd like to thank my plum tree and apologize to the ones in the past that I did not appreciate as much. Although I did make plum wine, plum jam. Did I make anything else with it? Yeah, I think just plum wine and plum jam, and this was like more than 10 years ago. So I'm excited to do a plum recipe now. We got our plums in there. They're looking pretty juicy. There's a bunch of juice at the bottom. Let's see. I'm kind of doing this in a different order, but that's just because I want my tea to be really strong, and I just got that started. So I'm just gonna eyeball it. I don't generally measure anymore my honey. I'm gonna say maybe 2.5 pounds. I don't want this to be too strong. So here we go. There we go. I'm just gonna, let's see. More. Whoa, that just, whoa, okay. I just sprayed honey all over my desk. Not very much though, I shouldn't say all over, I'm exaggerating. Okay, so we got our honey, we got our plums, and now we're gonna need some water. And let's see, you know what? Do I wanna do, I'm trying to decide if I wanna do lemon peel or orange peel. I have lemon peel sitting right next to me, so I'm just gonna put a couple little, or lemon zest. I'm gonna put a couple little pieces. Looks like I need to dry more lemon peel because I'm running low. Okay, so plums, honey, lemon peel, looks like my yard waste right now. And oops, I'm gonna go ahead and take the tea bag out. And the tea is for tannins. The skins, I believe, the skins on the plums should add a little bit as well, but I don't know that for sure. So here's my hot water. This is approximately 48 ounces that I'm putting in, and I'm gonna try to remember that so that I can know how much cool water to put in. So I'm just gonna stir this up until I feel like the plums are squished up a bit. They're already breaking down because I froze them and thawed them. And then I want the honey thoroughly mixed in there. And then I'm gonna go run downstairs and get myself some water to top this off. And we'll be adding the pectic enzyme and the yeast. So I will be right back. So here's my 80 ounces of water. And this is filtered water, so we don't have, I don't know, I haven't tested our water here, but it seems like it's pretty hard water. Okay, so now I'm just gonna stir this up. And these plums, did I already say the plums showed up really early this year? Usually it's after the Labor Day weekend, and it happened well before that, like a couple weeks before, so. Oh yeah. So that's good and mixed in. So next up is the pectic enzyme. So I think this helps just keeping it from getting cloudy. Helps break down the stuff. What am I looking for here? Half a teaspoon. So here's my half a teaspoon Pectic enzyme. I'm going to sprinkle that in. Voila, all done. I'm doing this a little later, so I'm going to probably have to wait till the next holiday season, but I think it would be nice to have like a spiced plum mead for the holiday season. So I haven't decided yet though. I might come back with a little more on what I ended up doing with this. But as it is, that's that. Now, I had been using Go Firm to help the yeast get going and stuff, but what I've found is my yeast seems to be pretty happy without it. But I don't know. I mean, flavor-wise, if it makes a difference or whatever. But I've had stuck fermentations with Go Firm. I've had stuck fermentations now without Go Firm. And I can't really say that there's been any noticeable difference in how my yeast behaves when I put it in there with the Go Firm. So I'm not going to do that today. I'm just getting back to just doing it the way I like to do it, not trying to, I don't know, get too fancy. I might change my mind and decide to get fancy again, but for now, I'm not so fancy mode. So that's pretty much ready, and all that we have left. Now this does feel a little cool now, so hopefully the yeast will not be too cold, but it might take them a little longer to wake up if that's the case. This room is probably in the lower to mid 70s. So it should be plenty warm for them once this warms up. So here's my D47 yeast, and I'm just going to put the whole packet in. So I'll sprinkle that in. And again, I had been doing the Go Firm and like kind of waking the yeast up before pouring them in. And I might get back to doing that, but it hasn't really made that much of a difference for me in my experience so far. But I haven't, you know, I need to be better about letting my mead age, because there's a couple, I mean, I am better now, but initially, you know, you get excited about it and you want to share it with people, and a gallon only makes maybe 4 bottles. And I was doing 1 bottle a month, or 1 gallon a month when I first started. And now I'm trying to just brew a whole bunch and let it age for a long time, then bottle it. I think it's a better approach. We'll see. I'll let you know how that works out for me. But I just drank the last, I had made the parsley citrus mead, and so I won't be coming back with a tasting on that one. But it was about, I don't know, 8 months old, and maybe 7. No, I think it was about 6 months old. Anyway, even just 6 months old, it was so good. It, you know, just letting them age is really the key with mead. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to do with this one. I might even hold off until the holiday season after this one on drinking it. That's my plan. We'll see if I can stick to it. Okay, so I'm done rambling. I have added my yeast. I mixed them in. In fact, I'm going to just stir this around and make sure that there's bubbles and oxygen and the environment is happy for that yeast, because they need to do their thing. I didn't add any like acid blend or anything like that, or lemon juice. I might do that in secondary. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go ahead and I will use Fermade O and feed the mead the first 24, 48, 72 hours, and then at the end of the week. And then within a couple of days of that, I'm going to, so week and a half, I'm going to go ahead and rack this into a different carboy and get it off the fruit. And that's where I'm probably going to let it age for a while and decide whether or not I'm going to spice it or what the next steps are. And that's kind of my process. It's just put in what sounds good and hope for the best. So, you know what I almost forgot? I forgot to do a gravity reading. So here's my, okay. So we're at 1.076 and I'm gonna snap this on. Put my airlock. The airlock has sanitization fluid in it. Did I pour everything back in? Okay. So I am going to let this sit, like I said, for about a week, week and a half. I'm going to give it a swish each day and add some Fermate O. And next time you see this mead, I will probably be tasting it. So I have high hopes for this, as I do with most of my meads. Occasionally I have a dud, but for the most part they've turned out pretty darn good. So this one is extra special because I, for the last 5-6 years, have been really wanting to make something from the plums for my plum tree, and this is the first year I've gotten to do it. So yay for the backyard. Okay, so that's Plum Mead, or Melomel, and I hope this video was useful somehow, and I will see you next time. Thank you.